And thank you guys for coming in on Facebook Live. And if you're on there on Facebook Live, can you please share, and can you please like us, and so other people can join with us as well. Okay, so glad to have you guys. Okay, guys. So could you add key things to the comments? Okay. Excuse me. So here's the thing. As we know, every single day there is a change going on, from running out of money to new money coming, to running out of money to new money coming. There's just so much information, and if unfortunately, if you're getting all that information on Facebook Live, then that's a bit of an issue. Trust me, because you really truly need to be going to, because some of that information is just passed on. Wait a minute, am I muted? How did I get muted? I'm not muted, right? So some of that information just gets passed on, and it's not necessarily the information that is current for the current now. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're always getting the current information. And so that's what Stephen and I are doing, is bringing people. Thank you, Cheyenne. I will definitely do that. Hey, Stanley. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I say some money for self-employed, and everybody come on out, huh? I got you guys' attention. So that has been a big thing, because there's been a lot of controversy to what's happening to those of us that are self-employed, but more than self-employed, solopreneurs that don't necessarily have employees, because everything is either 2 employees or more. And as we know, a lot of us are solo people out here. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that first, while Constance is coming in to talk about what she's going to tell us about the PPP and the new influx of money that is coming down. And I believe the date is the 28th, but she's going to give us more. And if anyone that's on that has any pertinent information, that which means that they've spoken to someone directly, a council person from the city, the state, or EDD or the SBA, then please contribute that. And then at the end, we're going to allow you guys, if you have anything going on, to let everybody know about it. So at this point, I am going to introduce, or let Stephen introduce himself and who he's with, and take it away, Stephen.
Okay, thank you. Again, my name is Stephen Turner. I'm the management principal of the Slayton Group. We're a risk management insurance firm providing workers' comp, general liability, employee benefits. And our sweet spot is that employer who has anywhere from 15 to maybe 100 employees. As you're probably well aware of, those are the individuals that quite often have been severely impacted, those who are making payroll. However, the way the program is structured with the payroll production program, you have to have payroll. And with 90% of all small Black businesses having 0 payroll employees, the payroll protection program is really not geared for them or for us. So what we're trying to do in this particular forum is to give you a briefing of what resources are out there, both governmental, quasi-governmental, and private. Also, we like to share testimonials from those that have, what their challenges been, their challenges in obtaining financing, as well as trying to survive, if not thrive, in this new normal that we've come across. I'm representing the Black Business Association as we celebrate our 50th year in business. And so we're advocating the advancement of those of African descent in the business commerce world. And as we come together, how we can strive to make a difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no, go ahead. Are you finished?
And that's it. And I was going to introduce Bianca Bobecki. Bianca Bobecki is a small business owner with employees, and she's going to tell you a little bit about her journey of trying to find some assistance in this new normal.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you. So Those that are on Facebook Live, I would love for you guys to like what's happening, send up some hands and some fingers and some all that sort of stuff, and share it to other people, because that's very important. Now, the other part is, if you want to see, and I'm going to shift the camera off of me very shortly, and I'm going to shift it to whoever is going to be speaking, but right now, for everyone, this is being recorded, and we will share the recording with you, as well as any of the information with the links and so forth, so that you can go back and digest it for your needs. Okay, so appreciate that. So here's where we're going to start with while we're waiting for Constance. We're still waiting for Greg as well, right?
Yes,
Stephen?
yes.
Okay, so both of those, Greg Doolin has been quite innovative. Thank you, Constance. Have been quite innovative in making how he's adapting to this new norm. So, and we wanted to talk to you guys, or encourage you to be thinking, yes, we have to find monies. Yes, yes, yes. But remember, those monies are loans. Some of them will become grants. Some of them have some deadlines and some cutoff points. So we're going to have to learn to pivot. We have to pivot our businesses so that we can adapt to whatever the new norm is going to be. And that new norm is going to be possibly live interaction, a lot more probably online interaction. So now we got to be able to figure out, how can our business become both live and digital, okay? Because it's going to be a minute where people are feeling comfortable to go out there, even if they open everything up next week. From what you've been reading, from what I've been reading on Facebook and other social medias, people are not going to just jump right on out there, because they're still quite frightened, and as they should be, and they're looking for safety. So it's not going to be a matter of us just, okay, one day we're going to be back out there and doing what we did in January 2020, when we were all excited about this new year. And now, wow, look what we got. So,
Well, Crystal, with that being the case, we're privileged to have Roz Pennington and Bianca on the line. I'd like to start off with Bianca, if you'd be so kind.
Okay.
Very briefly share your journey, how your company has responded to the COVID-19, what resources have been there, and what has the response been?
Well, hi, everyone. Could everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to speak. I am a small business owner, because Vobek Enterprises, we're a trucking company. We move freight nationwide, mainly for the utility companies. And also, we do construction. We're general contractors. Fortunately for us, a lot of our contracts are considered essential. So we still are working. But, you know, some of our non-essential contracts have slowed down a lot. So we've had to make some changes around just to make sure we stay healthy throughout this environment, cash flow. I have applied for every loan, everything. I have not heard of anything. I actually applied 3 places, so I'm hoping, you know, before the money run out, we'll get something. But on the positive note, my brother, who has 4 restaurants that was forced to shut down, did get a $10,000 deposit into his account from the idle. So, and that happened 2 days ago. So that tells me that people, I guess the idle loan didn't run out of money, the 10,000 one where you had to apply for and put in your checking account number.
Again, that's the emergency entry disaster loan program.
Right. So that, you know, just the fact that he got 2 days ago where the money had run out, give us some, make me think that that money was coming from another pot, and that some of us will start getting that $10,000 that deposit into our accounts shortly.
Thank you.
That's it.
Roz.
Yes, sir.
Roz, can you share us a little bit about your journey, as well as your relationship, the application you went through with Constance Anderson organization, and how things are going with you, and a little bit about your business background too.
Okay, Roz Pennington, and I'm the owner of the New Townhouse restaurant and bar. And my journey, I, like Bianca, have applied for every loan that comes out, but my frustrations have been the ability to get in to get your app. But fortunately, and I've been blessed to have, I have received the PPP, and I received it through Lendistry. I received my money from PPP, as well as I've received the $10,000 from the EIDL. But again, the frustration in changing over the business to take out, like I'm sure Greg and everybody else have, I had to change the business model and seek different, not just the takeouts, to seek different contracts, which I have a couple contracts with the city to provide meals to seniors. But that in itself, the takeout business and even the contract business is not enough to sustain the business. So I am waiting on the EIDL, because I definitely need that for the expenses. However, the PPP for the next 8 weeks, I've planned out the employees and have brought actually bringing them back, because I just got the money the other day. Today is Thursday. I got it on Tuesday, and so again, thanks to Lendistry, which Constance is part of, and was instrumental in getting my app processed and up to the SBA. And again, I was a part of that first round or run. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Roz, for sharing your. Well, how many lives are dependent on the townhouse and some other operation? How many employees?
Employees, I have 22.
Okay. Crystal?
So I wanted to ask Rosalind, she said she had to change her business model. What did she mean by that?
Well, originally it was in dining. And as with most restaurants and chains and franchises, everybody that ever had in dining is now have that big sign up there that says it's takeout and delivery.
Okay. So you would not have in dining, and so you could still practice the social distancing, but just it's safer.
Yes, it's safer. I can only let so many people in. I have Chow Now and DoorDash for delivery, and people can order online. They can also call directly and come in and pick up their meals. I can only have 6 people in at a time, and practicing the sanitation of them coming in with masks.
Hold.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Wait. Yes, but hold on 1 second so we can let her finish her comment, and then we're going to address that for you, okay? So Rosalind said basically what she's saying is that she had to change how the townhouse obviously is a bar and grill, and so you go in and you enjoy and you socialize. So she had to change the
We lost your video. We lost your voice.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
But Crystal, while you're doing that, can we pivot and bring Constance on the line? She has to leave.
Can you quickly introduce this so I can find out what's going on?
Okay. It's my pleasure to introduce Constance Anderson, and let me try to bring up her bio right quick. As Roz mentioned in her comments, she did go through Lendistry as someone to help her facilitate and navigate through this process. Constance is, this is another option. If you don't have a banking relationship with a current bank, you're looking for someone to help you get funding, Constance's organization can help you. With that being the case, Constance, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you help small business owners? Constance. We don't have Constance there.
She's there.
Yeah, it says unmuted. Okay. Well, let me do this. Let's open up the line. I'll mute everyone. If you have any questions for Bianca, Rosalind, and also maybe Constance come on. And then also we had Ken Crawford has joined us, as well as Angela Gibson. So I'm going to unmute everyone. Please bear with me. Unmute. Okay.
Okay, this is Constance. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
There we
Hold
go.
on one second. Can someone turn their televisions down so that so Constance can be heard?
How about now? Is that better?
Yes, that's better. So now you're muted. Okay, Constance, can you hear us? Can you speak now? Hello? We lost her.
I am.
Are you there, Constance? Okay. Why don't we do this? While she's getting her speaking, her information together, let's quickly, and I'll stop soon as she is ready to continue on. But let's talk about the PUA, which is the pandemic. Is that you, Constance? Are you ready? That's Angela. Good morning, Angela.
Right there. Sorry, I'm back.
That's okay. So the pandemic, and Constance, as soon as you're ready, just let me know, and then I will yield it back to you. So everyone can see my screen. I can't see you now because, let's see, gallery. So if everybody can see my screen, say use a reaction and do a thumbs up. So the pandemic unemployment assistance is part of the Federal CARES Act. So there's been some ups and downs about who could get the unemployment. Obviously, if you were working for someone, if you are self-employed and you're paying into the unemployment tax, then of course you would be eligible for the unemployment. But there are some of us that don't work in that capacity. And so those are the self-employed, solopreneurs, and as well as those that are in the gig industry. So normally, unemployment is 30 weeks of benefits, starting with the week of employment beginning February 2nd to 2020 through, let me move this over a little bit, through week ending December 26th, depending on when you became directly impacted by the pandemic. And an additional $600 is going to be available. That's coming from the federal government to each of the PUA weekly benefit amounts that you would be eligible for. And that claim will be available from March 29th to July 25th. So that's an extra $600. That's in addition to what you're seeing. The benefits will be retroactive to starting on or after February 2nd. So if that's where where it stopped or your source of income stopped from your business, any events were canceled, anything that you would have been entitled to during that time. So it's eligible for business owners, self-employed individuals, and independent contractors. That's your 1099 contractors. You can also be eligible if you qualify for regular UI benefits, but have collected all benefits for which they were eligible, which means if you had already run out of your unemployment eligibility, then you can fall under the PUA. So you also must meet, you must have been either, these are the following criteria, and it's not all, is one or other, somewhere in this you should qualify. So if you've been diagnosed with COVID-19 or experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 and are seeking medical diagnoses, if you're unable to work because a healthcare provider advised you to self-quarantine due to the COVID, if you're a member of a household who has been diagnosed with COVID, if you're providing care for a family member or a member of your household who has been diagnosed with COVID, if a child or other person in the household from whom you have primary caregiving responsibility, is unable to attend school, and is under the age of 19, you are eligible. You became the breadwinner or major support for household because the head of household has died as a result of COVID. You have quit your job as a result of COVID. Your place of employment has closed as a direct result of COVID. You're scheduled to start a job that is now unavailable as a result of COVID, public health emergency. You're unable to reach the place of employment as a result of COVID. And if you work as an independent contractor with reportable income, you may also qualify for the PUA benefits if you are unemployed. Let me move this just a little bit so I can see it. If you are unemployed, partially employed, or unable or unavailable to work because of COVID public health emergency, and has severely limited your ability to continue performing your customary work activities and have therefore been forced to stop working. These are the benefit payments. The phase 1 is $167 per week to each week you were unemployed, starting as of February 2nd to March 28th. And I will get to the chats in just 1 minute due to COVID. 167 plus 600 per week for March 29th to July 25th. And 167 per week for each week from July 26th to December 26th, 2020. And note, if you qualify for your claim to be backdated to an earlier date based on your last day of work, you could receive payment for prior weeks you were unemployed due to COVID. So to file a claim, you will go to the EDD, that's, I believe, UI Income, and they will begin accepting online applications for this program on Tuesday, April 28th. I will have to confirm, because I know I had already applied and there was a couple other people that had applied. So we do need to get a confirmation. Does that mean that we all have to reapply if you already have? But this is on the EDD website. If you write, I'm gonna put it up here and I'll put it in there. It's the edd.cal.gov, and under COVID 2019 pandemic unemployment assistance. So you can go to that website, so write that down. I will include this information in the follow-up and the recording when I send you the recording, but you wanna go apply. Now, you guys all know that, I'm gonna stop sharing now. And you all know, because I believe there were some questions, you all know that EDD, there were 5.6 million people that applied for EDD last week, 2 weeks ago. So with this, that's gonna be another several million people. So I would say get on this as soon as you can. Sometimes you'll have to do different hours because during the middle of the day and probably early morning, it's gonna be hard to get on, okay? So Constance, are you ready? And then we'll go to questions after this. Is she ready? Oh, no. Is Ken on? Where are my people? Hello. So, okay, so I'm gonna unmute you guys right now. And if anyone has any questions, please share, ask. No question? Y'all good?
Wait. I had a question because I don't understand sometimes the language. So I didn't know what is EIDL? What is that?
EIDL, that's the emergency injury disaster.
EIDL, okay.
Yeah, EIDL. It's the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection, and IDL, and that was the loan one, and the PPP is the one. And if Constance can come on, and I think Angela Gibson, you probably could share some information, because I know you guys have had a couple of webinars or informational briefings as well. And if, of course, Ken is on, but the PPP is the one that has the potential to become a grant, provided you meet all the criteria, which is that you're going toward payroll, operating expense, and you will have to document that. So if we have anyone that's on that can talk to that, we appreciate that while Constance is working on her sound. Angela, can you do that for me? Hello, hello. Dexter?
Hey, Crystal. So what were you looking for? I'm sorry.
So I know you guys have done, we're waiting for Constance. She's having a difficulty with her sound, but I know you guys have done a couple of, GLAC has done a couple of briefings as well. So if you had any current information on this latest round of money.
Oh, right.
That's coming forward.
They're voting on that today. I don't have, supposedly voting on that today. I don't have any particulars about how they will direct it, but it's my understanding that
Okay.
only a few dollars will be left open because the people that already have their applications pending will receive that money.
Ah, okay. Okay. So that's important.
Facebook has a small grant that's open.
Yes, I got that this morning. I think Stephen is going to talk about that. It's $2,500, right?
And I think it's some cash and
yep.
then some ads. You get it in cash and ads.
Okay. And these are monies that are being donated by other or corporations. Angela Gibson is the president of GLAC, the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. So, so how many, and you guys can unmute yourself, how many actually have applied for the EIDL and or the PPP or both of them conjunction?
I have.
Okay. And so, Patricia, have you received anything back?
This was Roz.
That was
Roz.
Yeah.
So Roz did, and Bianca did. Did anyone else other than those two individuals?
I applied as well.
Okay. Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
And I did too, Crystal Ardina.
Okay. So based upon what Angela just indicated, so if you already have an application in, and if you have not heard anything, then you should be, I guess, in the next queue. Now, hopefully they're getting down to the small businesses and not back to the big ones. So again, here's the thing. As we have said, and hey, Greg, you're on. As we have said in the past, if you have a relationship with a bank, your bank, you need to go to your bank and have a conversation with them. All right, thank you, Edwin. You need to really reach out to them. If you already have loans, line of credits, that you should be, you're already in the system, your information is already in the system, and that will help you greatly. If you don't, then you need to, last week we had List on. Constance is actually with Lindustry, so we're not getting her to speak. And what happened to, are you there, Constance?
I am. Can you hear me?
I am. Thank you. Yes, we can hear you. So
oh
now
my goodness. I am so sorry.
Take it away.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Some of you I know extremely well and some I don't. But my name is Constance Anderson. I'm the president of the Center by Lindustry. Lindustry is the second largest SBA lender in the country. Running the center basically means that I provide technical assistance and I do things like webinars when my systems are working. And just trying to make sure that the small businesses out there are getting access to all of the disaster loan programs that are available. And as Crystal and I think Stephen mentioned as well, there is a lot more money coming down the pipeline. I would highly suggest that you only apply at one institution, because the way the SBA numbers or approvals are done, if you have multiple applications and you get multiple approvals, it's probably going to slow down the whole process. So you want to try and make sure you're using a reputable lender. On my website, and Crystal, we can put this out there for everyone, which is www.mylindustry.com. We have resource materials. We have a guide there. We've got pretty much everything you would need to put together in order for your application to go through on a smooth process. We spent a lot of time in making sure we tried to answer as many questions as we could. Of course, we've had delays because no one was really prepared for this. So I'm happy to hear that Roz has got funded. Rosalind Pennington was one of the first clients that I worked with to help her in getting her access to this capital that was available. And I'm really proud of that. And I will open myself up to say that we have, I think, in our pipeline, which should be done by Friday, funded about $70 million. And I believe our average dollar amount on those is about $150,000 or less. So as Lindustry's mission and the center's mission is to make sure that we're helping those smaller businesses. And that's one way of doing it. And also, with inclusive of my team, we have 9 business advisors that are also available. For example, when Roz and I first started working with her application, we had a problem with downloading and uploading documents into the Lindustry portal. And what we found is that we have advisors that can help you with that. They can help you with your payroll projection calculation. They can help you with the upload. So what she was able to do was to give those documents or email those documents to one of our business advisors. They were able to zip the file and upload it into the portal. I'm happy to say that the documents are no longer a problem for us. We've opened up the portal to accept more than 4 pages of documents, and so that should work out really well. I don't know how much more I should talk about. There are some new things that came about this morning that I'm happy to share with you guys if you want me to do that now, Crystal, or
yeah,
wait.
We would love for you to do that. Also, I'm not quite sure if I spelled Lindustry correct, so if you could give me the
Sure,
spelling.
I'll type it in there for you.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Also,
Okay.
can you also tell us, just to confirm, what documentation they will need and when they will need it?
Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm putting in the website for you.
And while you're doing that, I am Ken Hicks, which is with the business, oh wow,
Hey, Ken.
the Metro project. He says there's some great resources for restaurateurs and food service, and that would be, and I'll put this in the chat box and send it over to you. That's at www.restaurantowner.com/public/restaurant owner, resources for surviving the COVID virus crisis. I will put that in. And there's the information for Lindustry. I will put that in the email that I will send out to you to follow up for this, so that you guys, if you're in the restaurant business or the food business, there's some resources for you. I did send to everyone last week. Those of you that are in the art community, we talked about that. And then for some of you, I actually sent you some resources. There's some other grants that just came down last week. So, we provided that for you. Okay, so Constance, go back and tell us of this update and also what documents they will need.
I'm going to start with the documents, and then I'll go to the update since I pulled it up on my screen, if you'll forgive me for doing that.
No problem.
So what I want to share with you guys is on our website, we have a resource guide, and then we also have what we're calling a documentation checklist. So the documentation checklist will take you through if the process of, let me just pull it up, just one.
I'm going to bring it up as well so they can kind of see it along with you.
Okay, so if you're on my site, Crystal, at the top of the site, you'll see apply for SBA PPP.
Yes.
And then if you click on that, you'll see SBA PPP loan, apply again.
Okay, so I'm popping, everybody can see? Okay, and apply again. Okay.
Okay, now you should have a screen with a family sitting.
Yes, I do. And so to the right of the. Okay.
is the information that you would need to submit. Now, there's a couple of ways. If you look at 12 months of payroll, what we're looking for, if you're using some type of a payroll system, you can ask your system manager to give you a summary of 1 year's payroll. You can also we'll also need the first quarter of 2020, which is January 1st through March 31st. And keep in mind, this is a payroll protection program. So the idea of these funds is meant to support you in keeping your employees' wages coming in. So the goal is to make sure that you have at minimum 2 months of payroll for all of your employees. So we're going to need corporate documents. We're going to need tax returns. We are not requesting your 2019 tax return. But if you're a corporation, we are asking you to provide your 2019 Schedule C. And keep in mind, on the Schedule C, you cannot have any more expenses than you had in your Schedule C for 2018. And that's probably the most important part about that, is if you have more expenses, you just have them, but you can't claim more in the PPP program. You'll also need a copy of your photo ID and then the application. Now, I want to talk about the application for a minute, because even we have seen quite a few opportunities where clients, or instances where clients did not completely complete the application. And what I'd like to say to everyone is make sure you complete the application to the very best of your ability, because one check mark in the wrong place, or one area where you didn't check off, or you didn't initial, or you didn't do the certification for other people that are in your business that own 20% or more, only slows down your process. Based on the number of people that are applying for these loans, there is no time to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, did you mean to do this or did you not? Now, while I'm saying that, I'm also saying there's a team of people out there that can look at your application, make sure it's complete before you upload it. But once you've uploaded, you're kind of like stuck, because people are going to continue to move past your application because it's incomplete or the calculations are incorrect. So you want to use the services and use the team of people that we have out there to help you with that. Crystal, that's it for the documentation on the PPP. Are there any sole proprietors out there that would like me to cover that piece?
Yes, we have quite a few sole proprietors.
All right. So, Crystal, if you go back a
Okay.
step,
Go back a step.
and
Okay.
a step or two, I'm doing the same thing.
All righty. So I'm at the PPP loan.
No, you got there faster than I did. Just a second.
Okay. She's getting there, guys. And I'm sorry, guys, if you're on, Tiffany, I just let you into the waiting room, so hopefully you can now hear and see.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Angela just came back in. Okay. And so those of you that are on Facebook Live, because you're on my phone Facebook Live, if you want to come into the program, you can just go to Facebook, and there should be a link there, or you should have received one. So I would highly suggest you come in on that way. Thank you. Go ahead, Constance.
Okay, so if you're back at the very beginning where you clicked on SBA PPP loan program, if you look down, you'll see the checklist for sole proprietor.
Oh, wait a minute. I needed to get back to the face of the, okay. So I actually get to the home page, right?
Yes.
Yes, I see. Checklist for sole proprietors.
Okay.
Okay. Can everyone see that? Just do a thumbs up. Okay. So let me see if I can make that a little bit. Yeah, I can move it up. Okay. So there you go. All right. Constance.
Okay. So for sole proprietors, there's a different calculation. For the most part, you're going to need your fictitious name filing statement. You're going to need fictitious name filing statement, any documents that support the name of the company. Also, I forgot to mention earlier about the bank account. Make sure that the bank account that you're asking the lender to put the funds in is under the same name as the applicant and the business owner. And we did run into a couple of things there where we had a client that name, well, I'm just going to make up one. They used their middle initial in one place. They didn't use it in another place. And all that did was slow it down. And it turned out that the middle initial was not in the corporation documents and not on the bank documents, but that's how they applied. And we can't change the application. So you want to make sure that everything is consistent and the names are exactly the same. I didn't mention that credit scores are not used to determine whether or not you qualify, so keep that in mind. Check.
That they are or they are not?
There's a soft credit report done, but the application is not, or the loan is not determined based on your credit score.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so credit score is not an issue for getting access to these funding.
Okay, and then I see, so with the no employee, employee needs, you will need your Schedule C, you need your 1099 information, and you need your 2020 invoice, bank statements, or book of records to establish you're in operation in or around February 15th, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so those are the requirements. And this is for still part of that, the PPP program, the SBA PPP for sole proprietors. Yes, Constance? Did I lose it? What happened?
Again, we want to share the information as one source. If you do not have a bank relationship, we posted Constance Anderson's information on there to reach out to her.
Hey, Murray, how's it going?
In our community, hello, excuse me. In our community, we have to share resources.
Well, no, I was in a meeting. I just got out of a meeting like about 5 minutes ago.
Mute everyone for a minute.
It was supposed to go from 10 to.
Okay, go ahead.
Mute everyone.
Okay.
So bear with me. In our community, we're trying to share resources, particularly as it affects those of African descent. Now, we're fortunate to have on the line Edwin Lombard, who represents the state of California, Black Chamber of Commerce. We heard from Angela her point of view, because a number of these programs might not fit you. There are other resources that are available. Now, with that being the case, I'm going to bring up Edwin Lombard. Bear with me as I find him here. Edwin, are you there? Crystal, can you unmute Edwin?
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me now, Stephen?
Yes, I can, sir.
All right. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm on another call with my earbuds at the same time. A lot of
activity. Just be brief, but yet be brilliant.
I was on with the U.S. Black Chamber on another webinar, but thank you for having me today, and I'm glad to be here. First off, I want to say the information that you have given out this morning is extremely accurate and very helpful. And I hope that there's a way that after this call, you're able to distribute this to everyone on the call so that we in turn can distribute this information to our databases.
Yes, it's recorded.
Secondly, on a call, a webinar that we did yesterday with some White House representatives, we talked about a number of different things, but the most important thing I think I want to talk about today is that this CARES Act 2.0 is being voted on as we speak. Hopefully this will be finalized by the president tomorrow. It calls for $475 billion additional dollars to go into the system that has been depleted, and you're absolutely right. It mostly went to larger organizations initially. It's working its way down to smaller businesses and some of our small businesses, excuse me, with this round. In conversations with certain members of the Congressional Black Caucus, my understanding is there's going to be an even subsequent set of monies that's going to come out, and it will go even further down to more micro type businesses, which most of our businesses are. So I would say this to you: if you have not applied and you need to, definitely get your application in and get it in as soon as possible. Because if you're in the pipeline, you're going to be in line to receive funds. If you wait too long, the funds will dry up. And you saw it happen in the first round. This second round, they say these funds are going to be gone within 2 days. Wow. So I would suggest that you get your applications in as soon as possible. Of the monies that's being allocated, 2.1 billion is going to be set up to go to the Small Business Administration, which most of our loans are going to come through. It's not a great deal, but it's still quite a bit of money when you look at the scale and the possibilities. So I would suggest that we get going on this as soon as possible. Follow the guidelines that have been put out for you. Go online and get these applications completed. Do not submit an incomplete application. Take the time, gather your information, and get it into the system as soon as possible. If you're having a problem actually filling out the information online, download the application, fill it out, and then upload it again, because sometimes the systems can be glitchy, and if you get kicked out, you got to start all over again. So if you have to, download the information, fill it out, and then upload it back into the system. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Appreciate it.
Edwin, can you address one issue? One of our entities asked were nonprofits also considered or fall under this if they meet all the other criteria.
Crystal, I can't hear you.
Oh, did I get, okay, can you hear me now? I'm not muted.
For
Hello?
some reason, I'm not hearing you guys.
Okay.
Well,
Stephen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Edwin, she was asking, are nonprofits still considered small business, or will they be available for the payroll protection program with this 2.0 or phase 4 of relief effort?
I don't know if he heard you.
Try now, Edwin. Unmuted. He muted himself, and I cannot unmute him.
Okay, so
okay,
so
I'm back again, guys.
Okay, here's the question.
Yes.
With this 4.0, phase 4.0 of the relief effort, will small businesses, can they participate in the payroll protection program?
Of course you can. You have to keep in mind that there's two programs that you can go through, and one is the EIDL loan and one is the payroll protection program. Now you can apply for both of them. The only thing is you cannot duplicate what you're asking for from both systems. So in other words, if you've got heavy payroll and you want to go through the payroll protection plan, you can do that for payroll specifically. If you want to go through the SBA EIDL loan for your expenses, you can also do it that way. So you can get approved on both platforms, but you just can't double dip. So yes, it will be made available to you. Unfortunately, most of our organizations don't have payroll. We depend on 1099 clients and independent contractors. And unfortunately right now you cannot include your independent contractors as part of your expenses. My understanding is on the subsequent round that's coming up, Congressional Black Caucus members are considering including that in the mix, and with the support of the U.S. Black Chamber and certain organizations throughout the country, we're pushing hard to make sure that that happens.
Okay, thank you so much. So that means right now, guys, then the PUA is right at the present moment your best bet. And also there's some grants out there, and I think everyone should be really looking in your specific industry. So those that are in the art industries, as I said last week, there were some opportunities and some grants that were there for you. So you need to look at them. I know I sent that information to Ardina and to Lula. So you need to look into that. The restaurant industry, you need to look into that. The restaurant.com, I think that's what Ken referred. and anything else, restaurantowner.com. I will continue to look for. I believe this just came down yesterday, and this is from Vermont Slauson, right, Stephen?
Yes.
They are having a webinar series, and if you register, I believe they're going to randomly pick 5 entities, and there's a $2,500 grant that will be available to them. Of course, I know there's some the GoFundMe, they actually have a match. Now, this is something that you could also look at, especially those of you that have businesses that serve the people. You can actually go to and set up a GoFundMe account. And if you guys would like, we can talk about that. I think there's some entities that are out there that I can bring in to talk about setting up a GoFundMe and getting support from your customers. This is another way to make sure that you are staying relevant, because if you haven't been reaching out to your customers, they don't know if you're well or not. And there are going to be a number of businesses that are not going to survive this. So you're going to need your customers to make sure you do survive this, and that you have found other ways to generate revenue during this time. I'm going to do a webinar. I'm looking at the dates on how to use your talents, your skills, and your unique, your passions, your talents, and your unique talents on how to create wealth, how to create money in another avenue. There's some other, Tiffany Bradshaw that's online. She has some unique opportunities, and we can maybe have her talk about that next week. So we can't just be thinking about relying on the resources that are coming from the government and from the states and so forth, because as you can see, that money runs out quick. We got to think about the long term. How are we going to survive to December 31st, 2020? So that means being able to figure out ways or create ways to generate other revenue sources. Okay, guys. I also, for those of you that do not have any financial statements, I am running a course. It seems like I need to bump the date up until Monday. I am running doing a training course. I will teach you how to use this very free app called Wave, and it literally takes 6 hours to get up and to get your financial statement. So if you guys are interested in that, you need to, I'm going to send that to you. I can move the date up to Monday. It looks like we need to move the date up so that you can start getting that on, or I can move it to Sunday or Saturday. But if you guys don't have your financial statements and you need to get them, then we can get you on Waze. It syncs with your bank. I just need to teach you how to add it to your, how to add everything in the right categories in order to produce a financial report. So if that's something you guys need, let me know and see. And we are nearing down, we have 5 minutes. Daryl Sweeney says the Act 2 has 60 billion going to the CDFIs. That's that one of them is Vermont Slauson, and community banks and credit unions that are targeted for minority and women-owned small businesses. Somebody asked earlier, were any of the Black banks included? The community banks would be One United. I'm not quite sure whether they're doing that. And also Broadway Federal is a community bank. And then there are a number of credit unions. So you could probably look at the Water and Power Credit Union, because I think that's outside of the normal scope of Department of Water and Power. I think years ago, they opened that up to regular banker consumers. So, you know, look at again, wherever your money is, I would reach out to them and call them and ask them, what are they involved in any place, any way, and especially if you have lines of credit with them. So check that out. Let me see, was there anything else here? Who was reporting? Grant information for business that had employees will have a phase 2. Okay, so, and I think every other question. So right now, for our last little 4 minutes, we're gonna unmute everyone, and if you have any questions, then you can ask.
Hi, this is Roz. Do you have a timeline on when the funds are available for the EIDL and when people can expect those to come out.
Well, I thought that the EIDL, are they out of money?
Yes.
Okay, so they're out of money. This is the second round for the PPP. And as Edwin said, and as well as Constance, you need to do that like when you get off of this call, if you can, if you have your financials. And those of you that need something, I can run this course on Saturday morning, if that works for everybody. We can do that. I'll send that out to you guys. I'm gonna blast it.
Hey, Ron, how are you?
Hey, Kevin.
Really good.
So, you had a question?
Yeah,
Okay.
no worries.
I think he just took a call. Hey, Crystal, I can share a couple of bits.
Okay.
Zoom
So
here.
I had 5 applications that I assisted in, and all 5, I got word back that we missed the first round. So we're in queue for round number 2. I did hear some feedback on a call yesterday that, just as you mentioned, that some of the credit unions and community banks, particularly the credit unions that were left out of round 1, have been added to round 2. So that's great advice to reach out to any credit union you're a member of, or even if you're not a member, become a member and find out if you can submit through them. So that's key.
And Michael Evans just indicated that the EIDL have another 10 billion in the next wave of funding. Michael, do you know when that's happening, or is that just it's coming? Oh, Armin Ross. Hey, Armin.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you,
Hey,
Mr. Man? Armin is with the chamber, the Crenshaw Chamber.
Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
That's okay. So, Michael, do you know when that next 10 million, or Constance or somebody here that can, do you know when it's coming, or Edwin?
So that extra $10 billion is actually included in the bill that's being voted on now.
Okay, okay. Again, timeliness, you can't be procrastinating. As you can see, I think that first round went in, like he said, in 2 days. So you guys got to be ready, right? So if there's no more, Constance, are you still there? You had some new stuff. Was that the new stuff?
Well, the new stuff was just to make sure that everyone realizes that everybody's portal is open now to work with sole proprietors and independent contractors. You are eligible to apply, and I do have people on my team that can help you. So I will send Crystal what I call the FAQs or cheat sheet, and she can make those available to everyone if needed.
Okay, and then I'm putting my phone number. I got a client right after here, so if you actually text me or email me, that'll be the best way to reach me. I'm gonna send a blast out that's me. I'm gonna blast out the information for the workshop. It's $69. That's a steal, guys. Trust me, it's a steal. But you will be up and running in at least 6 hours. Okay, if you're just following along with me, we're gonna do yours with while I'm teaching. It's gonna be a hands-on training. As I do it, you're gonna be doing it. Okay. And you can't beat this. This is a free program, and I'm actually quite impressed with this program. Someone came to me and asked me, could I teach him on it? I hadn't even used it, but within 6 hours, within 2 hours, I knew all the working mechanisms of it. Okay, so that's how simple it is. It actually took me an hour, and I was training her while I was learning it. Okay, so that's how simple it is, and it is completely free. It will work with I think I can actually put the flyer. No, I can't. It will work with your bank. It does everything you need. There's just a few things that it doesn't do that QuickBooks does, but at the level you're at, it's fine for what we need it to do. Okay. All right, so I'll get that out to everyone. And the workshop is using the Waze software, so it can give you an accounting and a P&L and a balance sheet. That's all they're asking for. And it syncs with your bank account. So all we need to do is take that and put it in the right chart of account line items, and voila, you have a P&L. Okay, like magic. And then after that, I'm gonna ask you guys to maintain it from here on out. So we're never in this position again, all right? All righty, guys, it's 12:02. My equipment is falling apart and falling over. And so we'll sign up for this week. Next week, of course, we'll be back. And we will bring you some new stuff, some more people and some new information. Once this law is signed or the bill is signed, there obviously will be quite a bit of information that will be available. And if you have any questions, I'm going to send you the recording. If you have any questions that you would like addressed next week, please email me in advance and I will make sure somebody can answer those questions for you. I want to thank everyone that have came on, those that provided information. Thank you so much. We so appreciate it. And if there's anything new or anything you want to add to it, Edwin, if you'd like to come in and be our person next week, that would be absolutely fantastic. Or Armin, or any of your, or Cynthia, I'm sorry, Angela, if you're still on. We want to make sure you know in our community, and I think we should send out a list, Stephen, of all of the organizations, the CBOs in our community that is there to help you. We as Black people need to start working together and uniting as one. It's very important right now. We reunite as one group of people. Amen. We have a bigger voice.
Absolutely.
So
amen.
I am putting the challenge out to all of the CBO leaders that are on the call. Let us get together and see how we can make sure that our people are taken care of during this pandemic. And I hope all y'all on board with me, because right now we're teetering on the edge, and we gotta change what we're doing, guys.
All right.
Crystal, you are so right, Crystal. It's time for us to prepare for the new normal, because it will not be the way it's always been.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So,
and I'd like to thank everyone for on the business call. The purpose of it is how we can survive and not thrive with this new normal. Thank you all.
Right. So Edwin, if you can send me your information or take my information so we can have a conversation, because I think there needs to be a conversation amongst all the leaders, and so we can address this together.
Great, Crystal. I can get your information from Stephen. I've got his information, and then I'll connect with you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. I'll get this to you, and I will see you guys next week. And if you have anything to add to, please share it with me, and I'll share it with the group. Love you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I'm trying to stop the recording. Okay, stop the recording.